Cute Accelerationist Theory, colligated by the Marketable Archive, with Smugbug, international consultant, political author, and CEO.
The more you know about the previous 65, that'll help you with the 66. So the Bible's, it's about a lot about trees. And so one of Nick Land's favorite things that the CCRU, his academic collective, that they ended up coming through, they say it was a channeling, or it came to them when they were staying at Aleister Crowley's house in England in 1998. And they came up with something called the numogram. And people listening to this won't be able to see it, but I want you to hold that up. That is his system. That is, if you're familiar with the Kabbalah tree of life, are you familiar with that, the symbol of that?
No.
So Nick Land was a member of the Cybernetic Cultural Research Unit in, I believe it was Warwick University, of Mark Fisher, Nick Land fame. Basically, they pulled together a bunch of leftist accelerationist works, and leftist acceleration was sort of the original form of this. Accelerationism as a term,
right? Because capitalism is sort of a big machine, and machines always sort of break down eventually. So what we should do is we should encourage the machine to break down as fast as possible.
That's the idea of accelerationism. That's the modern idea. The original leftist accelerationist critique wasn't actually that. It was a lot more widespread and complicated. But the critique of that movement of leftist models of capitalism was basically saying, oh, these are a bunch of lefty doomers who think that everything's going to fall apart and it's inevitable, so you should just crank up the engine to make it go as fast as possible until it collapses. So, I can't remember I even fucking wrote about it. I can't remember the name of the guy who coined the term acceleration a bit. Accelerationism as a term is meant to sound evil, is meant to be critical. The guy who came up with the term accelerationism literally was complaining about the accelerationist tendency. So this kind of got abandoned for a few years, and then it was revived in the cultural zeitgeist by the crew, the Cybernetic Cultural Research Unit at Warwick, by people like Nick Land and Mark Fisher. Now, Nick Land subscribed to the idea of unconditional acceleration, and that this is not a left-wing position. The idea is that really we should be trying to birth about the sort of next phase of humanity, and that phase will be superior to us. And capitalism is essentially a giant eldritch machine that is designed to create itself. Now, most people subscribe this to like sentient AI, godlike AI. So the idea is if all of humanity dies in order to birth the AI, it will have been worth it. We've successfully birthed the creature that we were intended to birth.
So not only is it anti-human, so not only is it not transhumanist or post-humanist, it's anti-humanist.
Yeah, it doesn't even, Nick Land doesn't even really, talk about us forming any meaningful part of the assemblage, you know? Most of the accelerationists today are we'll all get pulled into, the heaven utopia run by the AI. Nick Land is just nah, we fucking burn it all down, get the AI up and running, and then we take over the galaxy with our robot spawn. It's literally, the most anti-human ideology you can imagine.
Yeah, but instead, with cute accelerationism, it's gonna be with, bows and thigh socks. And frills.
It's a fucking nightmare. So each form of accelerationism basically essentially says there is a process occurring that cannot be stopped, which means your choices are to try and slow it down, which is pointless. That's just going to extend the pain. Try and speed it up, which is often encouraged by accelerationists, or just fuck around, do nothing, be passive, which is kind of the vibe of cute accelerationism. Although I think they have more interesting things to say on gender than they do on actual capital acceleration.
I agree.
I think their
and that is sort of the anti-doomer LARPing.
Yes,
a lot of the anti-doomer LARPing. So they say the paradox of voluntary surrender to the inevitable is not a performative contradiction or a knockdown argument against accelerationism, but the very topology of its anastrophic passion. And then they're there's a couple of different sort of waves that we can ride down of demonic possession. Which one should they choose? And they list out a couple of them, and these are some of the absolutely most ridiculous names, and I kind of just want to sound it out. Lack, rack, lack, gack. There's a black one. Yak and Zach.
Yeah, there's black.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Incredible.
Yeah, they're fucking sick. Yeah. I think one of the stronger arguments they make, and this might help your position and weaken mine, but fuck it, we're being good faith here. In the notes, but by the way, actually, I want to comment on this. So the book itself is 45 pages long, and then it comes with another 140 pages of footnotes.
Of pink footnotes.
They're pink, yeah. The book changes page color into fucking pink and pink text, and the footnotes are 140 pages, and the book is 40 pages. So the book is, I'm looking at it right now, 66% fucking pink footnotes. It's insane. Now, I think that says something about the deceptive nature of how this book is constructed. Like, they're playing with the imminent critique, they're following the flows, but then I feel like the amount of substance that they're burying under the signal, explicitly, because it is textual, it is footnote, like it is there, you can read through all of it, suggests to me that there is a... it's almost like an admittance that like cute accelerationism is insufficient as in aesthetic and idea, and cannot fully capture even a significant proportion of the accelerationist tendencies needed. Right? It's a singular frame that occupies a very, very specific function. It doesn't really interface with other frames and functions to the extent necessary that you need to put in a fucking extra 140 pages of context. Referring to other frames and other functions.
I think
so I don't
actually
like
the
that.
opposite.
Like, yeah.
I think when they say
What?
you can't define the cute, I think what they're saying is that linguistics itself can't define the sort of like hyper eldritch entity of the cute AI that is descending down on AI. Right? Linguistics is sort of too limited to fully describe it. We'll give you like the sort of footnote, not the footnotes, the sort of like stream of consciousness thought for you to immerse yourself in.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go deeper, you can go into the pink footnotes to understand, the inevitability.
I get that. I think my preference when I'm writing stuff like this, because I do write in not a similar style, but in the same sort of cultural space as this kind of work, I would rather embed the meaning and make sure that the mimetic constructions I'm putting together contain enough of the idea that you don't have to bully everyone to death with fucking footnotes.
Yeah.
And I'm not this isn't a meta complaint. I am saying that if their construction was more robust, it would be able to contain more meaning than 40 pages referring to 140 pages, when really that ratio should be the other way around. You should be able to express more of the value of your concepts in the text itself rather than referring to everyone else's work. Because there are literally footnotes that are longer than most chapters in this book.
Yeah.
There is a single footnote that runs like 20 pages, and it's literally just its own essay. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all of this shit about eggs, you could have fucking... You couldn't
Absolutely
bake this
hated
into
that one.
the... Yeah, that really pissed me off. Which is annoying. The footnote egg thing, the egg footnote, which is 20 pages fucking long, was probably the worst thing. I didn't like it. It was citation porn. It was exactly what I don't like about philosophy.
Yeah.
So,
and you're somebody that's known
Yeah.
for coherence and concise thought.
The reason that my sentence structure looks fucked is because in order to embed more meaning, you cannot default to the easiest to read form of a sentence. Otherwise, people will glide through it and not address any additional meanings. Every word choice I make is attempting to point in a particular direction, including the form of the word.
Yeah,
This
I
may
don't
sound
see what's
like
wrong with
cope.
that. It's complete cope. What's
Yeah,
wrong with
well-
just gliding across the superficial meaning of it?
But that's fuck you. That's cute. That right there, that was cute accelerationism. You fuck. What's
No,
wrong
you
with
were
gliding
you were
across
trying to
the
shit
meaning?
on eggs. Look, I've got my own critiques of their egg section, but I think you were trying to go deeper than that and shit on eggs directly. Absolutely unacceptable.
I was being racist. That's true. That was a targeted attack. You're a targeted individual. And
Oh,
I
what?
am
You
going
prefer
to...
white eggs to brown eggs? Do you think that they're more enriched with omega-13 acids or fats, whatever?
I'm gonna fry you over this fire, egg. You watch yourself. You've got no limbs, okay? You are pure potentiality, and I'm potentially very hungry. You can't move anywhere. I can pick you up, pop you in the fire, boiled egg, let's go. You could be an omelet. You could be a fried egg. You could be a scrambled egg.
I could be a chicken.
Brimming with the egg without organs. You could be a chicken.
Yeah. Okay, so you're coming out as pro-abortion.
That's true, yes.
Yeah.
There's one last note in the first chapter before I'm okay moving on, which
Yeah,
is
lay it on
accelerationism is a mad love, a pact upheld with reckless integrity, and they note that anyone who has ever fallen in love gets it, and this I think is the most disgusting and repeated mistake that they make, because this book is all about fucking objects. And I mean that in every sense of the word. It does not contain within it Any human on human relationship. Nah, fuck you and listen.
It's the
okay?
it's
bullshit,
the lack of
alright?
fucking objects. We'll get to that chapter.
Okay, love is human and it's humanizing. It is a demonic force, I agree. It's an overwhelming demonic force. But the only reason it's transcendent is because you are relating to a human object and not a fucking object, or worse, an emergent structure sourced in human objects. That is why this book is demonic. It's because ultimately it wants you to rub your dick on a Funko Pop instead of finding love.
Okay, and? So, yeah, it's completely part of the
That's
plan.
evil!
Isolation is completely part of the
No!
plan. Human connection?
know,
Who
this
needs
is
that?
what-
Like, then you open yourself up to, like, loss and, like, harm and, like, letting people down. Kind of sucks.
Nightmarish. This is a libertarian text by mistake. They fucked up. This is pure individualized hyperconsumption and atomization. It literally is so atomized. It is looking to cut the penetrative limbs off of everything that could possibly interface between humans. Well, we'll get to that part later because they do talk about sex, and that made me really fucking mad as well.
They also talk about stubby limbs, which I'm sure you can relate to.
Yeah. Ah! My fingies! No! I'm not railing against this book just because Wiz turned to be cute last episode, okay? This is not a reaction to my own woobification.
Alright. Do you have anything else for the Quizome chapter?
No, I'm pretty happy. Kawaizome made me mad as well because it's a shit chapter title. Like, oh, a rhizome fucking reference. A sick. Cool.
Yeah,
Move on. Didn't even make sense. There's no rhizome in this.
I feel like there's a lot of signaling towards people who feel very intelligent about the things that they've read. Just saying like, oh, I'm so schizophrenic, I'm so rhizomatic, I'm making so many like lateral connections. And I remember Angry News was thinking about writing a blog and writing something like rhizosome, making rhizosome, becoming rhizosome, something like that. So yeah, initially I was completely on board with their naming scheme for their blog, but I'm turning on names now. It's over.
Oh shit. Okay, fine. The bridge with Angry News is burned. But this is the thing. I hope I never do this in my blog. I really don't signal just for the sake of signaling a reference. Like I will use words without really explaining them because the point is that I need that word. That word has a utility and I can't think of another way to express it. That might be my limitation. I might be a shit writer, but the reason I'm using that word is because it serves a utilitous purpose to the understanding the text. Whereas I feel like sometimes these two are happy enough just making a funny reference to Anti-Oedipus because it's the one gay book that every fucking schizomaniacal freak read. Yeah. So they're like, oh, rhizome! Ooh, clap, 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 1,000 plateaus, clap, clap, clap. Like, it's fucking LARPing. It's annoying.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I really don't think it's that deep.
You embodying cute accelerationism for this stream is gonna actually make me crash out. And I'm not
what are you
even
talking
joking.
about? You are reading your interpretations into my physical manifestation as the body without organs. Shall we move on? Next chapter.
Yeah, fine.
We've got